All right, up Periscope. We are now live. Let's see if we're around. There we go. Here I am. I'm sitting down low as usual. I don't know why that is. I can't get myself to sit up high. So I don't know what else to do, but just kind of bend this thing down a little bit. But anyway, okay. Well, anyway, here, listen. What I want to talk to you about today is a new post that I just put up, and it's called, "Hey, buddy, I need a job. Would you co-sign $1 million note for me?" And other job search tips. And I got to tell you what I'm really talking about, and I'm playing with this thing right now. Okay, let's see if we can get this playing a little bit. I don't know why I've got a screen on here. There we go. All right. Hi, Retro Queen. Thanks for being there. Damien22 joined. Thank you. Anyway, here's the deal. I kind of had this concept many, many years ago, and actually I don't mind telling you that this post on my blog, which is what I'm looking at here, and I also put it up on LinkedIn. And I got to tell you, this is kind of a repost of something I did at salary.com a long time ago. But I want you to understand that when a recruiter does, hello Snowman 1961, Retro Queen, invited followers, thank you for that. A recruiter puts their neck on the line for you when they pass you up to the hiring manager. And so really what this post is about is kind of a rehash of a lot of the things I've already talked about in other posts. And I don't mind rehashing those because they're really fundamentally important. And this is not just for entry-level job seekers, but for everybody, as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, if you were to ask somebody to co-sign $1 million note for you, if you're like me, you know what the answer is going to be. But when you think about it, you go in and you interview with a recruiter, and that recruiter buys your message, believes that you're capable of doing the job, and that you have something to contribute. So I love that, Retro Queen, so recruiters can be helpful. You know what? I appreciate that question because recruiters and HR in general get the tag of being the bad guy. Well, they've got a job to do, and their job is to find the most qualified candidate to send to the hiring manager, who will then make a decision to make the hire. It's your job to get in front of that hiring manager. It's your job to get in front of that recruiter, usually, first and foremost. Hiring managers on their own usually don't do the recruiting to start with. So anyway, the point is, when you're working with a recruiter and you get somebody to like you, and then they forward you on to the hiring manager, understand that is like co-signing you $1 million note, because let's say you get that job and let's say you make a whole bunch of money and you stay there at that company 15, 20, 30 maybe years, and you're making $75,000, $100,000, $200,000 a year. Guess what? In 5 years, that's $1 million. You're asking somebody to believe you and what you have to contribute and what you have to offer. So I really want to, I'm going to go back, I'm going to rehash stuff I've talked about before, but it's really important. First thing is, dress appropriately. I really mean it. And I don't care what your age is. Dress appropriately. A classy suit will never hurt. And if you don't know how to dress, or if you're not sure exactly how to dress for the venue, the company, see if you can't sneak by during the week before or the day before. Drop by the environment, go walk down the offices, walk down the halls, see how people are dressed, and dress a little bit better. But fundamentally, you'll never mess with a good, well-fitting suit that's current, and I really mean current. You can't wear that thing that's 10 years old or 8 years old or whatever. So pay attention to details, particularly, and women, I'm going to tell you to minimize any jewelry at this point. Go with a really, really simple, conservative look. Let's talk about your LinkedIn image. I've already told you that Google is your new resume. It is. Actually, I'd say LinkedIn is your resume first. So make sure that that's cleaned up. Make sure it's really speaking to your value. Speak to those things, those accomplishments you've nailed in the past and are proud of and you want to mention. Also, any social media, Facebook, anywhere else, Twitter, that's inappropriate, take it down. Yeah, I know it stays out there forever, but you can minimize it. I'm going to tell you, when it comes to LinkedIn and the photos you show and stuff, the hug photos, you and your favorite squeeze, that's not, business photo. I mean, on Facebook and all that, sure, no problem. But on LinkedIn, the cropped photo that has you and you can see the bar sign in the background and you just nicked enough of that beer in the picture to show, that's not a photo for business. Your photo on LinkedIn needs to look like the person you would be walking in the door coming to work. Make the employer proud of wanting to be with you. To have you on board. Okay, due diligence. Let me tell you what, I've mentioned this several times before, but questions. You've got to walk into an interview with questions, pre-written, open that portfolio, put it down in front of you, and make sure they just happen to be able to see all those questions you prepared. Some of the pre-interview research you can do, of course, Google the company, look at the website, look at every page on the website, including job postings, give you an idea of growth or not that's happening. Look at the SEC, that's a Securities Exchange 10K or 10Q. The 10Q is a quarterly report. The 10K is an annual report. This is basically the annual report, their pretty annual report with all the warts and all the other stuff that, hey, just kidding, thanks for being here. The 10K is the annual report with all the warts and scars and mess that's out there. If you got any, if there's harassment issues, if there's any lawsuits pending. Now listen, you don't go into the interview acting like you know more than them because you weren't in the staff meeting that morning. You don't know what may have happened day before, that day, whatever. It's just good to be informed on this stuff. What are we talking about? We're talking about basically the recruiter co-signing you if they decide to pass you through to the hiring manager. So you have to live up to your end, their end, make them proud of you. And my point is, and just kidding, just ask, what are we talking about? What I'm really talking about is kind of this idea that a recruiter really does co-sign you potentially for $1 million note. If you get the job and you make lots of money and you're there for 8 or 10 or 12 years, you could easily make $1 million gross. So think of it that way. Research is important. Make sure those written questions are on your portfolio in front of you when you sit down at the interview. I want you to, let's see, I want you to leave your cell phone in the car, or at least turn it off, really, because there's all kinds of stories about cell phones going off. And listen, it's happened to all of us, but if you're going to be that dope that's going to answer a call while you're in there, you're not going to get the job. You might as well leave. I want you to remember that my thank you card message. Take a box, seriously, a box, 2024 4x5 panel cards. I prefer ivory for guys, white if you want for women, but I don't really care about the color as much as I care that you have them. I want you to write your thank you notes on the premises before you leave. Now, if you haven't heard about this before, you can go to rickgillis.com, look at my blog. I've mentioned this thing several different times. I've mentioned it in other blogs that I write. It's a really powerful technique. Here's what I say. The little 4x5 card, it's tiny. It's a little bit 4x5. I had to leave one out here and show you guys next time, but because I keep them and I use them myself. But to write the person's name on an envelope, don't have to have an address or anything, just their name, make sure it's spelled correctly, and all you say in the thank you note is, I thank you for your time, I'm the ideal candidate for this job, I look forward to hearing from you soon. If you've got any business cards, throw a couple in the envelope, put them throw them in the card, put them in the envelope, go back and hand it to the receptionist and say, excuse me, but I just interviewed with Ms. Tankersley, and I would like, if you would please hand her this card right now as soon as you can. Thank you very much. Turn around and walk away. What happens is, if you email a thank you note, it's not as elegant. If you snail mail, it's probably going to get there after the decision is made. The fact that you do it on the premises, on the spot, you're going to crush the competition, whoever's being interviewed after you. This is the way the client, the employer sees how you're going to potentially treat their clients. It's really inexpensive. By the way, you can buy these things, a box of 20, 25 of these things at like Target, Office Depot, Walmart, and you can get them for like $10, $12 for an entire box. Take the whole box with you. Why would I say that? Because I guarantee you're going to screw up 2 or 3 of them before you actually get one in an envelope, because you're going to scratch out something. You can't scratch it out. It's got to be perfect. Take your time, write it, and submit it. I want to basically, I just want to put across today that there are fundamentals to job search. Look professional. Leave that thank you note. Go in with a pile of questions. There's so much more. Of course, I have all this stuff in my job book. Go to rickgillis.com. I hope this helps you even a little bit. And like I said, this is job search for entry level. This is job search for professionals. I don't care your level. I'm really hoping this helps you. I will see you guys later. Over and out. Periscope down. Let's see if I can get this thing to go the first time. Here goes my finger, my big fat finger. Stop broadcast. See you guys.